Okay. Oh, I thought you were trying to get that off. Yeah, I'll open it up. There's not much really has happened since the game, to be honest with you. We had a light practice today, and yesterday we had a film session. Got some of the film knocked out and cleaned up, and today we had a light practice. We'll come back and have a good physical practice Wednesday and Thursday, and then give the players off a little time for the weekend to heal up again on the back.
You said you hoped last time the college said that Jordan would get to practice him this week. Did he practice at all today?
He did. He was out there today. He's in a red. I mean, he's no contact, but he was out there moving around, and he went through individual and he went through some reps without hitting anybody. Yeah.
Do you expect to have him by the game next week?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Yes. As long as we have no setbacks, I hope the plan.
And as far as like Chris Westry and Nyquist Pringle or anyone else that got hurt in the last game?
I don't have much updates. We were down some guys today. Fortunately, we have the bye. Nyquist was not out there. Chris was not out there. Courtney Love was not out there. If all things go well, we should have them by the end of the week or beginning of next week.
So much of the bye week last year was you guys, offense kind of redesigned itself during the bye week in a lot of ways. Is that something you can do again or plan to do again, or do you just build on what you've done so far?
Well, it gives us, this is the only time during the season that you really can sit back and look at the whole season. And so we did go back and, we do self-evaluation and just see all the things we're doing good and self-scout ourselves. See what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, continue to improve in the areas that we can, that we're doing well. Areas that we're not doing well, how can we fix it? And so it's a good time, and the only time really you have any day to spend a day and a half. So we did that Sunday and Monday and really just looked at ourselves. And got on Mississippi State this morning, and we'll work on them tonight and the rest of the week.
What did you see that you liked?
Oh, there's a few things that, there's things that we're doing well, and there's areas where we can improve, so, there's a lot of things to talk about there.
How important would it be for the offensive line if Drake were the center and Bunchy whoever, just to have one guy for the stability of the offensive line?
Well, I think that's important. I don't know if it's the end-all, be-all. We've done a nice job with rotating. I guess it was nice last year to have that continuity at center, but it's worked the past two games. We haven't had any snap issues, and both Nick and Drake played well this past week. So hopefully we'll get Nick some rest and back up to full strength, because he does bring a lot, whether it's at guard or at center. And he's a very good player, and he's just got to get healthy and get some weight and get stronger again.
Is there one thing you can point to as far as the pass defense that you want to improve, or is it kind of a combination?
Well, yeah, it's a combination. There's obviously some big plays that we've got to eliminate. We'll get better. We really are. There's nothing that there's issues that we can get fixed. Let's put it that way. There's nothing to, part of the reason that if you just look at statistics, it's because our rush defense have been very good. And again, this past week, Missouri put you in a bind. They did a very nice job, and so give them credit. And they made some big plays, and there's things we could get corrected off that, and we'll work to get those things fixed.
One outlet named Juice and Lynn, two of the best receivers of the week. What have they done, and how have the receivers as a whole become more consistent?
Yeah, I think we've just been more solid. I think the obvious thing is drops. There hasn't been any blatant drops, and they've worked really hard. They've been unselfish. They've blocked, and they're working when their opportunities arise. They made some good plays. I think this past week, Juice and Lynn both did some really good things with the football after they made catches, and been playing very unselfish.
I know it took some time to get Lynn to learn that position. How has he developed as a route runner and a receiver?
He's really getting better every week, and that's a big thing. That probably doesn't get mentioned enough, that he has never played wide receiver. And here he is 6 games into his true freshman year. It's starting to have an impact. So again, we've never worried about it. We feel like that he's going to get better with every opportunity, and this fly is going to drive me crazy. So he's getting better, and doesn't surprise us.
Do you expect Luke Wright to remain with the team? Is his
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. He's getting better. I mean, obviously, I can't get into details about that, but everything's been positive. Any of the tests that he's done so far, everything's been positive. And so he's feeling better, and his parents are in town, and he's doing better.
We talked last night about kind of an us against the world mentality. Despite sort of the 5-1 record, do you and the players still feel like you have to prove yourself to some fans or anyone on the outside?
I think that's just the nature of this business. I think any of us coaches or players always want to find the right balance between staying ahead of the chains and doing anything you can to improve in any area that you can. So we're always trying to just do the best we can.
You talked a lot last week about physicality. Were you impressed with your players on Saturday with how they executed being physical?
At times, yeah, we were very physical at times, and we got some tough yards when needed. I felt like our offense had good balance. Anytime you could rush the ball for close to 200 yards is good. Defensively, you don't like to see that, and it wasn't just all being physical at the point of attack. Obviously, a lot of secondary run support in things we talked about last week as far as splits. Once big plays happen, your overlappers and your secondary support wasn't great at times. So, I think that's, again, at times we were good and physical, and certainly at times we need to improve. Wasn't our best, that's for sure. I think we can play a lot better and a lot more physical, certainly on the defense side of that.
Offensively, do you think that was a pretty good balance? Like, is that an optimal game to have run versus pass, a good balance?
Absolutely. I think any time, if you're just looking at statistics, that if you could run the ball for close to 200 yards, it should open up some opportunities in the pass game as well.
You talked last week about wanting to run the tank till it's empty. Do you feel like you did that, and is this sort of, how much was this bye week needed for you guys to rest up?
It was needed. I felt like the guys had good energy out there today after not taking the field at all yesterday. Just a day like that sometimes means a great deal to these guys, and they don't get a lot of time off. And I felt like we did play hard. There's certainly areas in that game that you watch the film, and you feel like you could certainly play a lot better. And that's what we'll look to do. Again, it did not surprise me that Missouri played well. I said that all week. And again, just look at us last year. Look at what just everybody talked about us and what they were saying about us early in the year. Sometimes you just got to hit that reset button, look at some things, get some things tweaked, and play good football. And I have a lot of respect for Barry and a lot of guys on that staff. They do a very good job, and it did not surprise me. So I'm not going to say anything they did well was because we played poorly. They do some good things and can be very explosive, and we saw that. So I want to give them credit because they definitely came out and played a very good game, and it did not surprise me one bit, especially coming off the bye and having to hear all that talk about how they weren't very good. So I've been there before. I have a lot of coaches and friends in this business and in this league, and so we all understand. Tape up your ankles and let's go. So
I know one thing you said after several of the games this year is this team doesn't hit the panic button. Is that kind of turned into the identity that when it gets down to it, the team kind of stays loose?
Well, it's certainly a good feature to be able to win close games and do what you have to do to win. We would prefer to play a cleaner game across the board and get better in certain areas, but it doesn't always happen that way.
Looking ahead to Mississippi State, is it good also to have this extra practice time for the style of quarterback you'll face?
I think so, yeah, because one thing a lot that goes unsaid about them is just how physical they are. With the quarterback run game and how big he is himself, and they're a physical team, so it's always a spread attack, but they're a physical bunch on both sides of the ball, and so I think it does come a good time for us.
Folks, thank you very much.